What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How's everyone doing? How you doing out there? My name is Mike Ruiz. Listen, today, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to talk about? I don't know. Um, so it's been a big week, all right? It's been a big week on the internet, out in internet land, out in news land. Um, Man, some big bombshells have dropped, and I'm just absolutely loving it. I got to give props where props are due, and Joe Rogan had on some big names. I thought he sold out, but you know what? It turns out he was being real. He got Kanye West on, and Kanye West, let me tell you, I know a lot of people think he's crazy. He's not. He's a genius. He just thinks in a different way, and I really vibe with the way he thinks. And yeah, he goes off on these tangents, and his thoughts sometimes they're incoherent. He'll get pushed off into a rabbit hole, but I love him. I love going down those rabbit holes. And if you just concentrate and follow along, you realize that Kanye West has a mind. He has a mind like it's rare. All right. Number one, he's a billionaire. He's ultra famous and married to one of the most famous people on earth. On top of that, right? Music star. He's black, which, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on black people to conform. So he has to go against a lot of things to just be himself, to just speak his mind. It's a lot easier for Kanye just to say, man, screw this. I'm just going to go and I'm going to play my role, and I'm not going to venture I'm not going to color outside the lines. But he doesn't. He speaks his mind, and he knows it. He knows it. He's like, yo, I'm in a position where I'm a free thinker. I'm not, beholden to anyone but God and Jesus. And, I feel like I've had a calling, and I'm going to pursue that. And, man, I think that's admirable. He has everything to lose, And if he steps too far out of line, the media will eat him up, and there will be definitely vultures there to pick at the pieces. And, that's just so much to go up against. But he's willing to put himself out there, and I vibe with what he's saying. He's a visionary. He has a future, he has a future-oriented mindset, and he's not really motivated by power. He's motivated to push humanity to a different level. And whether you agree with his vision or not, I really admire what he's doing, because he has a vision for the future, and it's a vision of peace and prosperity in which human beings are coordinating and cooperating with one another. And I think that's beautiful, man. And he has ideas of sustainability and ways to organize cities, like futuristic cities. Like, who's thinking like this? Who's talking like this? Thank God Kanye is out there speaking like this, and hopefully inspiring and influencing other people to break the mold. He is breaking the mold of what is asked of him from society, and I think that alone is so powerful. So props to Joe Rogan for actually getting him on. I didn't think he was going to get him on, just because I feel like Joe Rogan's been compromised a little bit, but I could be definitely wrong about that. I don't know Joe Rogan, and I don't know anyone around him. Well, let's just put it like this. I've spoken to a few guests that he's had on his podcast, and they all tell me Joe Rogan's a great guy. But just being a fan from the beginning, I mean, listen, I've been a fan of Joe Rogan since the early days when he was talking about conspiracy theories, and he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on, and they were just talking about conspiracy theories and how he used to be on InfoWars and vice versa. This is when Joe Rogan had hair, all right? This is how long I've been watching. I was doing podcasts and all of that stuff before Joe Rogan came on. And then when Joe Rogan came on, I was like, awesome, man. There's somebody out there really talking about these ideas. I don't have to, I'm good. Like, I don't have to talk about this stuff, because I really didn't have it in me. I mean, Joe Rogan has that Hollywood, be in front of the camera personality. And for me, I was a one-man show. It took a lot of work, and I didn't have any resources. I was a young dude. So even though I was on the camera and making podcasts before Joe Rogan, I was just watching him from the beginning. I'm glad someone took over the reins, and I really had a lot of respect for him, but he's changed over the years. That's the point I'm trying to get to. He's definitely changed over the years, and I felt like he sold out, and I felt like him canceling the Kanye interview was just one of those things where I was like, oh, well, typical sellout Joe Rogan. But you know what? Turns out, Joe Rogan might be more honest than I thought. He had Kanye on. Plus, then he drops Alex Jones. And Alex Jones, let me tell you something. That man, I've been following that man from the beginning too, since like Bohemian Grove and since 9/11, where he predicted 9/11. And I was watching InfoWars where he was just, it was just a little production. And now, I mean, he has a whole studio. It's amazing how far Alex Jones has come. And Alex Jones is a national treasure. I know he's crazy. I know it. But come on, man. If you consume that much information and that type of information, and you got the whole world kind of going against you, you're liable to be a little bit crazy and eccentric. But he's so entertaining. He's so funny. And you could tell he has a really good heart, and he just loves humanity. And Joe Rogan had him on, and Alex Jones was just dropping truth bomb after truth bomb. And props to Joe Rogan for having Alex Jones on. And then not only that, after that, I was just listening to Glenn Greenwald and another bombshell. So, overall, like, Joe Rogan is just he's just killing it. Even though I don't agree with his approach. I wouldn't go around, but I can't hate on him. Like, I understand everyone has a role to play, and he's chosen his role. And I just kind of see him now as the bridge between the mainstream and the fringe. And the fringe is not necessarily bad. I mean, I think a lot of what's on the fringe right now, right, is actual truth. In a world full of lies, it becomes honorable to tell the truth. And so, props to Joe Rogan for having these people on there, and props for entertaining these ideas and actually going through the process of trying to understand what the guest is saying. It's huge. It's huge because anyone listening who is not biased, right, who has a curiosity for actual truth is going to investigate what they're saying on the podcast, and they're going to realize, wow, a lot of what Alex Jones is saying is true. Why does the media demonize him? A lot of what Glenn Greenwald is saying is true. Why is Edward Snowden in Russia, and why is he demonized as some type of traitor when all he was doing was revealing crimes that the U.S. government committed? Why? Yeah, so why do people label Kanye West crazy when he has all these amazing visionary ideas? Why? And so people start breaking down the matrix that the reality matrix in which which has been constructed around them, and they just start breaking those blocks down, and it really starts to free people's minds. And yeah, so definitely a big week. It's election week. Trump is really pushing hard. Joe Biden and the Hunter Biden stories. I mean, it's just so much happening. And, I just felt really called to get on a microphone, to set up a little studio here at home and just give my opinion and my perspective because, hey, I've been in the alternative media space for a long time. And I've been following along and, I've been seeing what's happened, and it's amazing seeing how the internet has progressed, how YouTube has progressed. And I honestly, here's what I think. I think that we are at an inflection point, right? We're at a turning point where humanity can either go down a dark Orwellian path where everything is controlled, society is controlled, our breathing is controlled, our consumption is controlled, our happiness is controlled, our emotions are controlled, our everything about our lives is monitored, tracked, traced, and controlled, and all human creativity and ingenuity is squashed, or it's funneled, right? It's captured by, whatever controlling entity is in existence and in power. Or we can go down a more decentralized route where each individual is empowered to pursue their own endeavors and their own creative paths and and free to add value where they see fit. And it's more of of what I feel like is a human path. It's a path in which human beings are naturally designed to go down, where, hey, I want to be a builder, I want to be a pianist, I want to be a violinist, I want to be a carpenter, I want to be a designer, I want to be a writer, I want to be a poet, whatever it is. And like each individual, right, they look into their own, internal desires and chooses what it is that what their path should be. And I feel like we're going to get the most out of humanity that way, versus having this kind of top-down controlled system, which I think they're trying to implement right now. This is why I say we're at an inflection point. Which path are we going to go down? A human path where each individual is their own captain of their own ship that controls their own destiny? Or are we going to go down like this kind of communist totalitarian path, top down, where people are told what to do and they're inoculated, their emotions are suppressed, their inner feelings, all of that's, they're sedated with drugs and all of this stuff. I definitely see that. I mean, it's already happening, right? We could already see it. It's not like we have to imagine it. We can see it. People are sedated. People are drugged up. People are depressed because they're not being fulfilled in life. They're not, they haven't found their calling. And they value the wrong things like materialism, and they've let their relationships deplete, and they have nobody in their lives, and everything is artificial and superficial. And so they got to suppress their emotions with antidepressants and pharmaceuticals. And, it's just like, and then, hey, go do this robotic manual job. Oh, I can't do it. It makes me depressed. Well, here's some Adderall and here's some speed so you could just get through the day. That's not the society that I'm trying to live in. So I definitely see it as an inflection point, and I'm going to do whatever I can within my power and within my influence to kind of steer this a different way. And whatever, hey, listen, you don't have to be a Joe Rogan, right? You don't have to be a Donald Trump. You don't have to be a major influence out there in the world. Influencing your circle, like, if we are all nodes in this life, right, on this earth, some nodes are bigger than others. Some nodes are more connected than others. But if we all, shine our light, and that's going to create a kind of network effect. And that in itself, we are all powerful individually. We are all powerful, and we can influence the people around us. And this idea that you have to have 1 million followers or whatever it is it's limiting. We are powerful within our own community, within our own circle, and we have the ability to influence people, and we never know what that leads. I maybe can influence someone who has the dynamics, right, who has the characteristics that will influence the world down the line. And it's only me that acted as the catalyst that went out and created this video that I'm doing right now, where maybe somebody watched it and said, wow, you know what he's saying is true, and what he's saying is powerful. I feel like I resonate with what he's saying. I'm going to do the same thing. But maybe that guy has, or that girl, or has the right characteristics, the right, articulation and charisma and all of that he or she turns out to be a huge node, right? And channels their energy to a wide distribution on this earth, their positive energy. And maybe they wouldn't have done it if they didn't come across me, who has maybe 300 followers, right? But hey, I just happen to be. So you never know who you're going to influence. You never know how you're going to affect the world. You never know the chain reaction, the butterfly effect that you're going to have. So, listen, if you got something to say, if you got something to speak up about, do it. Who cares? You don't need to be big. You don't need to be this person out there who's a celebrity. Just do it. and live a simple life. So, they can't take much from you, That's the way I roll. Just live a simple life and keep it simple and speak my mind. And that way, there's not a lot of loss to be had, Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. This was actually a test video. I got this camera right here in front of me. I got this microphone, and I'm testing out the software, and I'm going to be making more videos and stuff like that. So if you enjoy them, give me a thumbs up. Give me some recognition. Give me some positive energy, whatever you want to call it, man. I would definitely appreciate it just to know that people are out there listening. And yeah, this week is going to be huge, man. So to everyone out there, peace and love. I'll see you on the next one.